beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
WIFTVPN.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that.
I know you just said that.
That's what I just said.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Toussaint Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you've ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Great afternoon to you wonderful people. Welcome to this Friday edition of I Said What I Said. We are live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. Herb Howard, Toussaint Werner here with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Thank you all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of the conversation this afternoon. It absolutely means the world to us. This is I Said What I Said. It is intellectual thuggery at its finest. We feel like it's the blackest conversation in America, and we are absolutely thrilled that you all are here with us this afternoon. As we go through the show, as always, your input is valued. It is certainly appreciated. Anything that you want to add to the show, feel free to leave your comments. We will read through as many of them as possible as we go through. We'd also kindly ask that you please take a quick moment to share the conversation. Please share the conversation. Share it on your own personal page. Share it even within your private network. Anyone that you think would add value to or find value in this particular conversation, we welcome them to be a part of I Said What I Said. Again, my name is Herb Howard. His name is Toussaint Werner, too. What is happening, good brother?
What's going on, family? I'm blessed and highly favored.
Glad to hear it, man. Feeling good on this here Friday. I don't know. Something about like that change in the season. I know how long we wait to get to summer. I know how long we wait to get to summer. I know how short it is. But something about the briskness in the air when the weather like first changed from like summer into that early fall. I like that. I don't know. My skin like feel alive on the breeze or something like that. It excites me. I don't know what it is about it. Do you like when it turns to fall, or are you more like the straight summer? Because hoodie season is my groove. I'm for that.
I like Chicago, man. Each season fits me, right?
Yeah.
So the summer, I wait for the summer for the block parties and the house picnics and the, everything that goes with summer. And then for the fall and the winter, I like the big coats and the boots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. So I just love the city, though.
Yeah, it changes all the time. Everything is always relevant to. I don't like the big coats though, and I don't like boots either. I'm strange. I also don't like socks. Like I never wear anything more than ankle socks. No socks that ever come on my ankle.
Nothing more than ankle socks.
No matter what the weather is. If I don't got on dress socks, I ain't got on. You know what I'm saying? Nothing over my ankle.
Yeah, summertime I don't even wear socks.
And then I very, very rarely wear coats too. I don't know why. I don't like a lot of stuff like just on me in general. And so I love running out the house, running out the car, something like that. But having like coats and stuff, I very, very rarely have on a coat. It gotta be freezing.
So look, I'm looking at the numbers, man. We got short numbers right now in this Relationship Friday. That's not normal. Peace to everybody that's tuned in. Shout out to Gene, shout out to Nicole. But check game though, man. I've got what do they call it? I'm in Facebook jail.
Right.
I've been in Facebook jail for like a week almost, I guess you could say. And because I'm in Facebook jail, I can't share nothing to my page. I can't write nothing on my page. I can't do nothing on my page. So a lot of our numbers comes through us pushing our show through my page, because Herb is new to Facebook. Well, he deleted Facebook 10 years ago, and he just got back on. And Facebook being our medium in which we share this platform, man, we would greatly appreciate it if you all would share it, specifically since I'm in Facebook jail, because I was I don't even know why. I think somebody was harassing me, man, and I lost my cool for a hot second.
You don't know how to act.
No, I'm usually pretty cool about it, but he said something that just pushed me over the edge. I don't even remember what it was at this point, and I didn't think it was that disrespectful. But whatever it was, it got me banned from Facebook for a little while.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to get to and remain in a space where I truly like don't give no energy to no fuck shit. Like if I deem it to be fuck shit, I'm not giving it any attention, right? And that's not to say like my mind ain't open to other ideas, but once I'm certain that this is complete BS, I'm not really giving it no energy no more. I'm just like, so like people I disagree with that's like far extreme political ideas. That one little chick that I can't stand. I never ever like give that shit no energy.
I'm pretty good with it. You remember the one girl we interviewed who said she only dated white dudes, and remember I lost my cool.
Yeah,
with her, right?
Yeah.
She went on a 3-month tirade cussing me out on Facebook every day. Like she made it her job to cuss me out on Facebook every day, and I never responded because it was just too silly. But when dudes
and all it would do was make it expand.
I ain't give that no energy. But sometimes, man, people getting confused. I'm for black people. I love black people. I do. With every inkling of my being. But I'm still 95th Street, so don't confuse it, G. Sometimes you take it too far, and you like, hey, man.
Now we got to go there.
Hey, homie, slow down. You know what I mean?
No, I dig it, man. So stay out of jail, man.
I'm trying.
We need you out here in these streets. We need you out here in these
Facebook
streets.
I got an F on my report card right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Shout out to the homie Loon, man, and the legendary
Free the
Craig
guys.
Hodges
Free the guys. You know what I'm saying?
The show on Wednesday, man, it was a really, really good show. If you didn't get a chance to check it out on Wednesday, go back and check out Wednesday's show. We were joined live in the studio by the artist formerly known as Loon. He now goes by the good brother Amir, and Craig Hodges was in the studio as well, man. Two really, really dope brothers, and we've kind of, that night we all ended up just kicking it back. We went to the summit that they were talking about, the Heal America tour. We went through, checked that out. The bishop and everybody that was there to speak, that was pretty cool. And then we just all was kind of hanging out around the hotel after that. So we was all just kicking it in the ballrooms way after they closed. We almost got kicked out.
We did get kicked out. That's how that worked.
So some sister she come whispering to us after the summit. She like, I guess she said that y'all either need to leave or like everybody needs to have on the mask.
It was way too many black people.
It was that's really what it was. But she said it so softly, nobody really heard her. So I guess she felt disrespected, and then she raised her voice, and then we felt disrespected because like we ain't heard you say nothing. The first thing you say, just yelling at us like, I said either get out or like. I'm flabbergasted, like, man. I've had my mask on all night. Like, stop yelling at me.
You're tweaking too much.
He's tweaking right now. But we had a good time, man. Shout out to Loon. He's super, super dope brother. Look forward to catching up with him in the future. Find out some things that he has going on, as well as continuing to do the work with Craig Hodges all over the city as well. Got a dope show for y'all as usual on this here Relationship Friday on I Said What I Said. We are going to be joined at 1:30 by proud sex worker. Her name is Darling Nicky. Right, she hails out of Atlanta, but she's all over for a fee. For
that ticket.
You know what I'm saying? She's going to be joining us here at 1:30 to kind of talk about sexual liberation, what it means to kind of live in your sexual truth.
Shout out to Nicole, because I saw when you put the banner up, because of course I can't put anything on Facebook.
Right.
I saw when you posted the banner, Nicole was like, this is obviously a program by Herb Shell.
Oh, come on. Hey, you know what? I don't know why y'all treat me like that, man. I don't know why y'all treat me that way.
Hot boy Herb.
All Nicole,
HBH.
Adrian, Patah. I don't know why y'all treat me like that. Hot boy Herb.
Hot boy Herb, man. That's what it is.
I'll have you know that Tucson orchestrated this entire
That's how you gonna play it.
Yeah.
Of course that's how I'm gonna play it.
Of course I am. So we are going to have that conversation as we go through here on Relationship Friday. Hope this Friday finds you all doing very, very well. Hope y'all feeling excited and rested and ready to do something for the weekend. We don't have too many more weekends before it get like stupid cold. Y'all know we don't have no real fall. So make sure y'all get out and enjoy yourselves and do something too. You getting outside much lately? I know you can't really hop on the bike like you used to, but you be needing your outside time.
I do, G. I do, but I haven't been, man. I've been working like crazy, bro. I got a lot of expenditures coming up very quickly, and they're starting to hit my pocket real quick. So, I'm trying to make a move on some family stuff that you know about. I'm not talking about publicly, but the expenses for that is happening right now.
I would imagine that they are considerable.
They are considerable, but it's it's for a good cause.
Of course, it is for a good cause.
Sound like charity, don't it?
It's for 38 cents a day.
Yeah, you can feed the kid in Uganda. You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious, man. Look, I was watching the Book of Dawn. Did you see that video I sent you? Did you check that video out?
I seen it before. I'm old, so I've seen it before.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? It looked totally different when I saw it.
That was
it
my
has a very different energy.
That was my first time checking out that video, and so the sister was on the Book of Dawn.
That's who was on the Book of Dawn today.
Oh yeah. Listen. Dawn
LaShawn.
know everybody.
LaShawn.
Yeah. LaShawn.
So explain who LaShawn is for the audience who haven't seen the video.
So I just got hip today. So
Okay.
LaShawn is a singer.
You call that singing? I call that. Well,
She's a performer.
It was like early '90s female version of rap.
It's early '90s, like female hip hop. So that type of vibe. I would say it was a mix between like TLC and Adina Howard, like meeting somewhere.
So that means like early Drake.
Ron in there mad as hell, like don't come at Drake like that, bro. What? He in there frustrated. Hey, so the video, so she's got a video, and it's a sexy video, right? So I was talking to Dawn like behind the scenes in between her show because we were trying to get some things hooked up to set up for the interview, or whatever. And so I ended up on the phone with LaShawn, right? Now I'm just trying to work this thing out. I'm not really thinking much of it. But then when it get worked out and I see her on the screen, I'm like, oh, she's kind of nice looking, right? Mm-hmm. And so I tell Dawn like, yeah, she's super dope. I'm like, yeah, she's dope. She's fine too, right? So Dawn like, oh, check out this video. I don't know what Dawn was trying to insinuate by sending me that particular video.
Because you're a young boy in relation.
Right, but the video is about like some woman.
Child molestation.
That's really what it is. No, that's a part of it too. But it's also about like fucking some dude in the ass. Like
I didn't see all of the video, obviously.
Oh, that is what the video is about.
I stopped at the child molestation.
The song is called Wide Open.
Right. I thought it was about getting young.
No. Wide open though.
Yeah, that's too much for me.
That is why I sent it to you. I said, Don, I sent it to 2. He gonna flip out. He gonna do a whole show about it.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much.
Listen, we got to take our first break. When we come back, we will continue the conversation about Wide Open. No, we won't. We will not continue.
Maybe that will be the conversation.
We will not have that conversation. I think that she's going to be on the Book of Dawn Monday, though, as well. They're going to continue that conversation, so you can check that out if you like on the Book of Dawn every weekday from 11 a.m. to from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., the Book of Dawn right here on What's In It for the Black People Media. This is I Said What I Said. My name is Herb. His name is 2. We'll be right back after this.
WIFTBPM.
Funeral expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
When you need vibrant, colorful gear that offers high-performance material that keeps you cool, call Agent Huff Custom Gear. Let us take your expressions and create something new for your everyday wear, your bedroom or bath. For all your needs, we offer custom sublimation, silkscreen, vinyl, and embroidery. You can reach us on all things social at Superhero Huff. www.superherohuff.com or 630-476-9191.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
WIFTBPM.
Live from What's In It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that. I know you just said that. That's what I just said. That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Toussaint Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
And We are back live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. This is I Said What I Said. Herb Howard, Tucson Warner here with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m. Thank y'all so much for choosing to be a part of the conversation. We greatly, greatly appreciate you all choosing to hang out with us. Some of y'all choosing not to hang out with us today. Y'all don't want to hear the conversation that we got coming up, but we're going to have that conversation nonetheless. You know, Adrian Anderson told me that she wasn't coming.
Why's that?
It is Wiz OG. Adrian said she wasn't coming through the show today because she didn't want to take part in the conversation. I am disappointed.
Really?
I am disappointed.
That's terrible, man. She probably could learn something.
I
don't mean it in that. I'm not saying sexually. That's not where I'm putting that out.
Okay.
At. I'm just saying in general, right? It's always interesting to hear from all kinds of groups of people. You just never know what they got to talk about. You never know what drove them to the spaces and places of how they got to where they are.
Yeah, I think our lack of desire to kind of understand or even just accept people for being whoever the hell they want to be, I think that is one of the things that kind of hinders our growth a little bit. Like we get called up, oh, they pray this way, they have sex this way, they whatever this way, like, and so I can't really rock with them. Like, no, okay, that don't really have no real bearing on what's happening out here, not particularly.
Man, but it's what I said the other day when we was talking to Loom. I think it was Loom we was talking to. And I was like, you got to be fluid in thought, though, right? You just never know, right? You can learn something from anybody, man. I learned
Adrian
from
said,
my
"I'm
children.
here, damn it."
I learned from my children.
Thank you, Adrian.
I mean? It is what it is. So shout out to Adrian for showing up. That's big of you.
Is Wiz OG, man. They always show up and show out. We appreciate it. Don, I see you in here too. Don Millhouse is in the building. Don,
Shout
I know
out
you
to
just
Don.
You just tried to hit me for something. I don't know if I was
Herb
wrong,
open.
but I was just
She was trying to get Herb open. Herb, you gonna get open?
false. Okay.
That sounds like some Herb might do. They call you Harem Herb.
Yeah, I see that too.
Harem Herb.
Nah, listen, man, I'm into a lot of things, but I'm not really into
Not
that.
that you not that advanced yet.
Not-
You got to grow into that one.
I don't know. You want to tell me about the evolution process?
I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, okay.
Thought that was a hot boy Herb.
I'm quite comfortable where I am. Ron, really, how you, man? How's your comfort level on the wide open
Ron
conversation?
definitely like he's for the get open thing.
Hey, I'm dead over here. Leave me out this conversation. I don't even know why it's still happening right now.
So apparently, it was Dawn and her people running wild in the 90s, just out here ramming
Trying to
niggas.
16-year-old boys to get open. Huh?
That's
how the video opens.
The video opens like, girl, look at that young boy over
He
there.
look like he about 16,
16,
and the
17.
first
So
bar
it's-
she spits
so
is
it's
like,
molestation.
you won't tell your mama.
Yeah, she's like, don't get molested. Tell your mama so I get arrested.
Right. Don't tell
say
your
it's
mama you got
molested.
molested, so I won't get arrested. Right. That's the first line of the rap. And then was women rapping it tonight.
And those are the same women who are like, don't you ever listen to R. Kelly music again.
It's wild how they talk about our generation, though.
Yeah, like
Well, I ain't in y'all generation. That was really kind of my generation. So
listen, it was I don't know, different times, whatever. Like some people say, like, you know, the Bill Cosby thing, like, oh, everybody was doing Quaaludes and dropping stuff in drinks. It was norm. It was par for the course back then.
But it was.
And it was. And so I'm saying, like, you know, R. Kelly about their age, right? R. Kelly like Don them age, right? They're about.
I don't know how old Don is or how.
I don't know how old.
Kelly is.
I know how old Don is contextually, just like from like the stuff she talks
You know
about.
black don't crack though.
But look at her. I don't know if Don might be 15, 16. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't look at her. You can't tell.
125. That's what you really want to say. She might be 125, but she looks
That
like
part
she's
too.
about 35.
Either way,
You just don't know.
Or anywhere along the spectrum, that black shit is real. So, but the stuff she talks about, and you know, some of her peers. But anyway, I say that to say this, like, clearly it was okay for them to put this whole ass video out, right? And open it up with molesting and not getting arrested, right? Why is? I don't want to say why, because I believe
Kelly
that
put
Kel
out
should be
AJ
where he
nothing
should be.
but a number, you know what I mean? That was the energy, I guess, at the time.
That
I
was,
don't know.
but
I was young then.
all those people condemn Kels now.
Hey, I think it's terrible. You know what I mean? And it's different for a boy and a girl. I said that the other day. G. I dropped my
Different
son
rules.
off kind of anywhere. My daughter, ain't happening.
Different rules.
It's different rules.
Yeah, they was trying to turn some boys into girls.
Yeah, it was different.
No, I don't know. I mean,
It's
I say
very
it like that.
different.
That's not really how I mean it.
That's not how you mean it, I know. But I'm going to roll with it. It's kind of different. It's kind of different.
So
Kinda different.
Anyway, the song is called Don. What's the name of the song? The song is called Wide Open. The song is called Wide Open by LaShawn, and you can YouTube it. And I don't know, maybe we figure out how to pop it up on here and show it to y'all. on here, but it's called Wide Open by LaShawn. And in the video, like she's humping this dude like from the back. It's wild. Son.
Yeah, I've heard the song.
It's wild,
but I didn't watch the video further than, hey, you 15 and 16, right? Yeah, I said, all right.
So I had to watch it twice. Because the first time I was just like kind of watching it, I thought it was gonna be like, because I was just trying to check for LaShawn, just see what she was looking like and stuff. And so, but I wasn't really paying the lyrics or the content of the video that much attention. And I go back, I listen to it again. I'm like, oh, and then I see Don in it. Don got cameos all through the video. Yeah, Don's in the video.
Don, are you in the video with a woman talking about molestation? Don, I'm disappointed. I'm sorry. Just saying. That's kind of next level.
Don is in the video. She got lines in the video.
Oh, really?
She got like lines. She said lines.
She was the one
video.
like, he's 17, girl.
Nah, she was like the one like, go get him, bring him over. No, she wasn't. She wasn't either of those two. But she was in the video. She had one scene where she was like dressed in like some baggy jeans and a t-shirt, and she was talking to some.
Carhartt jacket.
She was talking to some dude like, look, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because again, the video is about like they talk like one
like
of the
80s, early 90s.
But yeah, but it's about taking your manhood. A lot of it is like in that kind
of
like
emasculation going on in the video.
There is like one of the lines is something about like that ass is mine. Ain't nothing you could do about it. Like that's the one that took like
your decision. That's the one that cost your decision.
It's man, ain't nothing you can do about it. So I'm watching. Then I watch the second time when I see Dawn in there. She got the scene like that where she treating the nigga. Then she got another scene where she got lingerie on. I said, Dawn, look at Dawn all through the video, man.
I wish I could have checked it out, but I can't. It's just too much for molestation for me. I couldn't stop. Right there.
You had to cut it out right.
It's
there.
a new day and age, right? We gotta be more mindful.
Yeah, no, I would never go back and retroactively condemn an act that was, more widespread or acceptable, whatever it was back then. Whatever.
But that seems to be the way of the world. That's kind
Plus, if I was 16 and LaShawn was trying to get at me,
I'm going.
I'm gone.
I'm still going. But therein lies the differences between
boys and girls,
and women, right? Like that was like a goal of ours coming up. Like, oh, she this age,
yeah,
I'm going.
I had a substitute teacher named Miss Alford. Oh my goodness, Miss Alford was everything. Now looking back on it, Miss Alford was probably like 25. Like I probably could have actually pulled it. But you don't think like that when you're a kid. You don't think she like 25. Even if you do think 25, you think 25 old. I thought my mom was old when I was that age. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
Like,
some of my homies here, some of my teachers, and at the time it was just like a badge of honor. It wasn't like nothing. We was like, damn, that's dirty.
Yeah. And
I'm still not like, damn, that's dirty. To be honest with you, it's just different.
It's different.
You know what I mean?
It's different.
Different. But had that been like a little girl or something, I've been even at that age, even when I was that age, had a male teacher that pulled up on one of the young girls in the school, I'd have been like, dude, you foul. Yeah. Even at that age, from that mindset.
Yeah, it's different though.
But if it was one of the homies who was in class with me and nailed the teacher, I'm like, man, you came up.
It's strange. So never mind. Never mind.
Alvin said, "Bussy boy, this is too much for me."
What's man. Bussy boy?
These comments.
Oh, that's what they call it. It's bussy, is what he said.
Hey man, hey.
No, that's what he's saying.
I'm just saying this is too much information.
No, I'm serious now.
I'm learning new stuff.
I'm trying to educate you, right? I'm trying to teach you some new words.
Don just tagged your girl LaShawn in here. She's gonna have to come in here and defend herself about the molestation lyrics.
She don't got to come here and defend herself. She can come in here and display her skill set.
Recreate that scene.
Right. I could be 16 this month.
Yeah, you can't wait to get a bus over.
I can go get a fake driver's permit. You know what I'm saying? Bussy is the term.
That's too much for me. We can move on. I didn't want to have that conversation. We can move right on past that one.
Moving right along. Listen, man. Oh, y'all absolutely.
What we looking like?
We're gonna be talking to Darling Nicky here coming up at 1:30. When we come out of the 1:30 break, we should have her on the live line. We're expecting to talk to her. Just it's a new culture, right? I feel like now, I say all the time that there's a way now to go direct to consumer more so than any other time before. Now that's true if you want to sell clothes or if you want to sell hot plates, but it's also true if you want to sell sex, right?
True for you.
No, right. For anybody who wants to sell, I don't sell sex.
I'm not saying that. The shift in culture is different because it's probably like 3 generations operating at once in the same paradigm.
Sure,
right? We're sharing this energy at the same time.
Sure.
So those cultures shift via the age brackets.
Oh, you don't think there's nobody in your age bracket that's selling vagina online?
I'm not saying that that's not happening, but I think all of that shifts per the age bracket, like how you look at certain things. We've even had conversations, right? Like. Shanita specifically has cussed me out for being what did she call me? Anti-homosexual. What? I don't even know what the word
Homophobic
would be.
or something?
Homophobic, right? And I don't consider myself homophobic because phobia implies scared or fear.
Right.
I'm not that. But I'd be lying if I said that I didn't see it in a different light than, let's say, your generation sees it.
Right.
And I wouldn't. It'd be a difference in seeing it how my elders see it. You
Right.
know, it's true story, G. True story. So there's an apartment complex on my block, and there must be like a harem of I don't know, what do you call them? What's the correct word? Gays and transgenders, I guess you could say. They kind of was moving in and out of there for a while. I haven't seen them in a long time.
Oh, on your block?
On my block.
Oh, no, they was heavy over there.
They was on my block.
They
in
was
that building on the corner.
They was on
right?
you.
And me and my son was outside one day, and they be outside. And what's the word? They would be outside. They be outside. You know what I mean? And I'd be uncomfortable. Like, I was like, come on, Eric, let's go to the house. You know what I mean?
That's homophobic.
No,
You're
I'm not
scared.
afraid.
Yes,
I'm not
you are.
afraid. I'm
Yes, you are.
uncomfortable.
Yes,
No, it's not fear. It's not fear. I'm just uncomfortable.
It's the same thing, bro.
No, it's not the same.
It's like
There's a difference between fear and discomfort.
Yeah, but it causes you some anxiety. It causes you a
Who
feeling.
said I wasn't anxious? I just said I was uncomfortable.
Listen,
I don't want to be out.
you get
I don't
into
want to share
semantics.
space sometimes.
Right.
It's too much going
because
on
what's
here.
gonna happen?
Because I don't want to have
I
I didn't want to have a conversation. I want to have a conversation with my 7-8-year-old son, 6-year-old son.
That's real.
And you would have to have a conversation.
That's fair.
Because they're blatant. Like, it's surgeries happening.
That's fair. It's surgeries.
No,
happening.
I'm serious, G. It's next level, right? They're wearing spandex tights.
Oh,
and
no.
purses and
Listen, it's different.
The whole demo.
It's different.
So instead of me saying, hey, son, this is... Because I can't explain it. I really can't.
That's about the age you start explaining, though, right?
No. There's nothing to explain about that for me. There's nothing to explain about that for me. So instead of having that conversation, I'm like, I'm going in the crib. Come on, we're going in the crib. We'll go in the back and shoot hoops. That's just it.
Okay.
So, but it's per the demographic. There's a whole nother demographic that's just normalized. And I even brought that story up to say, my son hit me with, hey, daddy, they just gay.
Right.
And I had to rethink it for a little while, but I was still like, no, let's go inside.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, we thought I don't know what we actually thought about it, but I know that it was just immediately shot down and cast away as like unacceptable behavior, right? Just like hell no. Even people that you knew was like gay then, like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure he gay, whatever, but it wasn't like accepted. Now people can just kind of be, and I say you do understand it because you make a point all the time about people finding their value in other things outside of blackness, right? So you got a lot of young black people, right, who are not finding any value in their current state of being. But as they experiment with their sexuality or their identity, they begin to find some sense of value.
I think there's
authentically or not.
I think there's a plethora of conversations happening at one time around identity, though.
Okay.
Right? James Baldwin is a hero of mine. Flat out open homosexual.
Yeah.
Superhero of mine.
Yes.
Right? But why he's a hero of mine has nothing to do with his gender identity or his sexual identity.
Sure.
It's because he created something of value that I also value. Sexuality is innate to every human being on the planet.
Sure.
Why the fuck does it have a value? So in my argument, going back to why I'm not homophobic, because I'm not. I don't really give a shit.
Right.
But I'm not interested in the promotion of what anybody does in their bedroom. I don't, unless I'm in there with you.
Right.
Other than that, I don't really give a shit. So when you come outside, and there's a great YouTube, like, kind of, I guess it's like an interview with Dr. Shahrazad Ali. Shahrazad Ali. And she talks about homosexuality, and she talks about homosexuality, and she talks about that. It's not just based in homosexuality though, but it's based in black boy gender identity.
Okay.
Right? And how we lack masculinity, and hence we look for it in different ways. So you start to create a paradigm where you believe you are XYZ, whatever XYZ might be, right? So you create a paradigm where you're a gangster, and you start doing shit that identifies with gangster. You fix your voice to sound a certain kind of way. You wear your clothes a certain kind of way, and eventually, over time, you adapt this identity. Same thing with in my opinion, with the gender conversation. Over time, you adapt the identity, right? So. Sexuality is one thing. What you do sexually is one thing, but wearing tights and purses, that's not sexual based. That's not sexually based.
Listen, we got to take a break. When we come back from break, we will be joined on the live line by Darling Nicky. We're going to have a conversation about sexual liberation, what that looks like in 2020. This is I Say What I Said. My name is Herb. His name is Tu. We'll be right back after this.
WIFTVPM.
When you need vibrant, colorful gear that offers high-performance material that keeps you cool, call Agent Huff Custom Gear. Let us take your expressions and create something new for your everyday wear, your bedroom, or bath. For all your needs, we offer custom sublimation, silkscreen, vinyl, and embroidery. You can reach us on all things social at Superhero Huff. www.superherohuff.com or 630-476-9191.
Funeral expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
WIFTVPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that. I know you just said that. That's what I just said. That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Toussaint Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
And we are back. We are live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. This is I Said What I Said. Herb Howard, Toussaint Werner here with you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in. We greatly appreciate you all being a part of the conversation. If you have not already done so, please take a quick second to share the conversation. Share it on your personal page. Share it even within your personal network. As always, your opinion is valued. It is certainly appreciated. Anything you want to add to the conversation as we go through, feel free to do so. We will read through as many of them as possible. Told you guys we will be speaking today to Darling Nicky. She is not only a proud sex worker, but a very advocate, a strong advocate for sexual liberation. First of all, Nicky, thanks for taking the time to join us. How are you?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing good.
Good. We truly appreciate you taking the time to talk with us this afternoon to have this bit of a conversation. Can you turn your screen sideways? Is that possible?
Like this? Is this better?
Yes, that's perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. So how are you doing today? You say you're doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Today's
Good.
My week has been crazy.
Well, I'm glad we finally made it to Friday. Each and every Friday here on I Said What I Said, we have relationship talk. So we talk about relationship from different aspects. You know, we talk about man to woman or whatever it may be, or what it looks like in the home. We talk about traditional relationships, monogamy, poly, not, all those type of different things to try and figure out the best way to make sure that we're having healthy relationships in our communities. Just like healthy relationships that we can build upon. We think that's the foundation for everything else that we want to do in our community in terms of building, sustainable communities. And so we try to approach these conversations from a viewpoint that allows everybody's voice to kind of be heard so that we can get some understanding so we can have the healthiest relationships possible. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your chosen lifestyle in terms of your sexuality.
I am an adult film star slash yogi slash sex pleasure advocate. I don't know. I'm a big sex positive person who's been able to find a way for herself to monetize her energy while also sharing advice with other people who are interested in exploring their sexuality or learning more about different dynamics of sensuality and sexuality.
No, I think that, we talk often about, being able to go direct to consumer now in a way that's never really been possible before. And that's true whether you're selling food or you're selling clothes, but also if you're offering, pleasure or sex, like those, like you can produce your content and get it direct to consumer now in a way that wasn't possible, 10, 15, maybe even 5 years ago, right? And so how do you go about utilizing the different platforms now to be able to reach your target audience in ways that may not have been so easily accessible to you before? Because you are like top I don't know, like top 3 or 5% or something like that on the OnlyFans site, right? In terms of content producers, top 1%. Like, so everybody's trying to come see the content that you put out. So clearly, you understand how to utilize those types of platforms. Tell us a little bit more about that aspect of it.
I think a lot of it is just knowing where your audience is coming from. And then utilizing like every single platform you can.
Sure.
Because everyone uses social media, right? We're all on Instagram and Facebook and Reddit and Twitter and Snapchat, and it's like most of us use multiple social media platforms.
Sure.
So some of them are going to overlap. But I think it's important also to know that where your content is going to thrive, right? So I'm more on the adult side. My content thrives on Twitter because Twitter is open to, allowing my content to flow through their site. Reddit is also a pretty like laid back site where people post more adult content. Instagram is where I share more of my verbal pieces or anything that's, of course, PG-13 or family friendly. Like
sure.
That all goes on Instagram.
Tell me where you find the I'm sorry, too. You wanted to jump in?
Yeah, I got a quick question. You said you was a yogi too, right?
Yeah.
So, per my understanding of yoga, and if you're saying you're a yogi, it's a very high spiritual connectivity kind of thing. And then there's like I don't know, is there like a conflict of interest? Because in a lot of ways, they say porn desensitizes people to the value of or the intimacy related to sexual intercourse. Is there a conflict of interest there in those two worlds?
I definitely think that there is, and I think the sex that people are having today is that kind of connectionless sex. There's a lack of intimacy. There's a lack of knowledge. There's a lack of boundaries. And the porn that I make is a lot more conscious. It's a lot more realistic. I don't really set up my scenes. Most of it's really amateur stuff because I'm a lifestyle person. I'm not somebody who came into this life and decided to, set up cameras and record. It was kind of like, look, this is the life I live. People are interested in knowing more about it. Let's set the cameras up.
So this was just a normal day at your house before the cameras came out. It was just rocking like that.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
No, I think that, I think that's true of a lot of people, though, right? I think that if people were willing to kind of peel back that curtain, I think people would see a lot of things happening behind people's closed doors that others would deem wild or like extreme or, some type of alternative lifestyle. But to me, it's like, who the hell who determines what's like normal and then alternative? Like I don't understand where that comes from. And so, but it is out there. So Nicky, I want to ask you, where'd you find like the confidence and the comfort to kind of like live in your own truth? Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say about this. This is how I live, and I don't mind who knows that.
I think it came from being unhappy. I remember being in a relationship, and this was when I realized that I was polyamorous. Mm-hmm. I was in a monogamous relationship, and I was interested in spending more time with another guy friend, not for sexual interest, but because this guy friend was doing yoga with me, and my main partner, yoga wasn't an interest to him. So here I am, asking this man to be like, can I spend time with another guy because, we share similar interests. And
right.
I wasn't allowed to do so in my monogamous relationship.
Right.
So I think that dissatisfaction, is kind of what pushed me into just being bold and being open and being honest with people about what I wanted and what I expected from the relationships that I got myself in. Because if you don't ask for something, you can't expect somebody to give it to you.
So it's some steps missing for me.
Okay.
Right?
What's missing for you?
So the monogamous relationship, you had a friendship that you wanted to explore, but the monogamous guy was like, nah, that's too much. And then jumping all the way to the polyamorous lifestyle, it just seems like a gap, right? Why not just find out how to be? Not to say this not is your choice, but it just, again, for me, it's steps missing in the monogamous relationship. How come we just can't have an honest dialogue and say, hey, man, this isn't really what monogamy is. Monogamy isn't controlling my life, right? It just means we're sexually exclusive. It's not I'm not going to be subservient to you because, you know, you can't dictate my friends or how
you say how do we jump from?
Yeah, it just seems like an extreme
how do we jump from I want to go to yoga with somebody or I want to go bowling with somebody to I want to fuck them?
Yeah, not even that. Not even that. I don't think that's the conversation, right? I think it's
because it doesn't include having to be sexually involved with another person.
Right.
That wasn't what I was interested in. But I think with that it was kind of like me realizing that the monogamy that I thought that I was participating in was a lie, or it wasn't the real monogamy or what monogamy should actually be.
So I think first of all, Herb has this conversation all the time that, you know, he's not with monogamy, and I think we had this conversation in here all the time. Monogamy is kind of a lie. I don't want to say a lie. It's just the social norm.
Right, and I think the way that people go about it and what people believe monogamy is the lie. You know, it's not really what it actually is. It's just what we're perpetuating, which is a lot of possession and control.
Yeah, there it is, right? We think it does kind of identify itself or define itself as ownership rather than I don't know, partnership. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I still think there's a humongous jump to going from being sexually exclusive with somebody to being.
I mean, I think that was like the first instance where I realized I wasn't happy with what I was experiencing, and I had to be verbal about it. I had to tell the person that I was in a relationship with that I wasn't happy in order to find the growth that I needed, you know, whether that was leaving the relationship or getting what I needed from that relationship.
So what did you get out of it? What changed when you made that jump? How did you find happiness? Because you said it was unhappiness.
I left that relationship and I found my first, I guess, poly partnership shortly after. And yeah, it's been a journey since.
We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation with Darling Nicky. This is I Said What I Said. His name is Tucson Warner. My name is Herb Howard. We'll be right back after this.
WIFTBPM.
Funeral expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
When you need vibrant, colorful gear that offers high-performance material that keeps you cool, call Agent Huff Custom Gear. Let us take your expressions and create something new for your everyday wear, your bedroom, or bath. For all your needs, we offer custom sublimation, silkscreen, vinyl, and embroidery. You can reach us on all things social at Superhero Huff. www.superherohuff.com or 630-476-9191.
WIFTBPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that. I know you just said that. That's what I just said. That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Tucson Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
And we are back on this Friday afternoon. We are live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. This is I Said What I Said. Herb Howard, Toussaint Warner here with you up until 3 o'clock. Thank y'all so much for choosing to tune in and be a part of the conversation. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. We realize you could be doing anything else right now, but you are here with us, and we do not take it for granted. We are joined on the live line by Darling Nicky. She is a professional performer, right? I don't know if you've seen the content.
It's okay.
I do research, Jay. I do research on everybody that comes on the show. So I've done some research.
You done the research?
I've done some research.
I've done the research as well. And
she's talented.
She's talented. She has a skill set that is upper echelon. She has a skill set that is unique. Hey, Nicky, let me ask you a question, though, because a lot of the people that are watching us live on Facebook right now are having a bit of a hard time hearing you. Might you have headphones nearby?
I don't believe I do.
So right there, I feel like your volume was better than it was. Maybe because you was inside in that place, so it sounds a little better now anyway.
Yeah, so I tried to step outside to make it a little quieter.
Cool. We appreciate that. So we were left off. What do we leave off at, too?
You left off when you was researching the videos last night with some Vaseline in your hand.
First of all,
you forgot what you was talking about.
First of all, I wasn't researching last night. Okay, I've been a fan for quite some time.
So you've done extensive research.
Right. I'm at the graduate level. This I didn't start my research yesterday. But no. That's not where I was at. That was after the break. Anyway, I forgot where we were before the break. But I do want to talk about, kind of just educating other people on what polyamory could actually look like, right? Because I think a lot of people have these ideas, and a lot of times people will say to me like, "Oh, that means you're in an open relationship." It's like, nah, not in the way that you would define an open relationship. Like, no.
Question though, is there a difference between polyamory and sex work? Right, those are different kind of conversations. One's a lifestyle choice, and one's a
polyamory.
You're not accepting money for polyamory.
Right. It's literally two words, right? You got poly, which means more than one, and amor, like love, right? So multiple love, right? And I ain't just, you pay me to fuck if you want, but I don't love you about the shit.
Right.
I'm just learning here, bro.
I'm just teaching. I'm just educating. So let me ask you this though, Nicky, how do your partners feel about, so your poly partners, right, who you have like real life bonds with, how do they feel about your work on the more, casual business side of things?
So my main partner is also a sex worker.
Okay.
And he's a nude chef, and he also does some OnlyFans work.
A nude chef.
Yeah.
That sounds dope. I'll be scared to do it though. I'll be scared of the grease popping and shit.
Right.
Do we ever get burnt? Like, well, shit.
All the time.
In the kitchen. Does he ever burn himself in the kitchen? Toussaint, your ass is crazy.
Nah, I'm just going with the flow.
No, I dig it. So I think that,
I got a question though. How do we move this polyamorous lifestyle into a business and going on the camera? Like, what was the driving thought behind that, right? Because let me give some context to the kind of show we have, right? It's a very socially conscious, black empowerment kind of a conversation. And even on Relationship Friday, the consensus or the basis is, how do we build loving black families to build up loving black communities, right? So I'm not gonna lie to you. I struggle with having or putting any of my moral value into that kind of a career set. I wouldn't sit on here and say, hey, I would want something like this for my daughter. That would never be my truth. So in context, the polyamorous part of this is a very different conversation than the sex worker part of this. Mm-hmm. There is a contention or contingency within our community that is trying to normalize sex work.
Sure.
Right? I don't know if I'm with that. Convince me of otherwise.
Nicky, did you hear that question?
Seems like we lost the volume.
It like she might have froze, actually. I don't think she's moving.
She's moving, but my screen is delayed.
Well, I don't know, right? Like how or why that's moving in that particular way. But what I will say is this. I think that a lot of things are happening anyway, right? I think a lot of things are already happening regardless, right? And I think that because people don't deem them acceptable or cast shine any light on them, that don't make them no less real, right? So I think that when people just be like, okay, well, this is what it is, I think that's kind of a natural progression of things, right? People get more comfortable with things. It's like, yeah, oh, okay, now this is a thing, right? And so it don't matter if it's homosexuality or if it's poly or if it's Quaaludes.
In regards to like monetizing? I think it does matter. And this is the kind of conversation that I have all the time on here, right? Mm-hmm. Because our value set is rooted in capital, mm-hmm. right? So there's in Ta-Nehisi's book, the Between the World and Me, mm-hmm. right? It's really a letter to his son. But one of the most striking statements that he says in that book to me is that as black boys, you recognize that you don't own nothing, not even your own body. Right, anybody can take that shit from you, and there's no value to it. Right. So you're willing to sell it for very cheap. Right, in whatever way that might be. Right, I'll sell it to a bullet to be head honcho on 95th Street. It's cheap as shit. Right. I'll sell it to be the main guy on 79th Street. It's cheap as shit. Right. So a race can rise no higher than this woman, and what our woman is selling it for now is likes. What our women is selling it for now is visibility on the internet. So again, I know there's a segment trying to normalize this, and I don't want to just fully shit on you. Right. But I'm not sold.
Yeah. So in terms of monetizing it, but I think
and it's not just the monetization of it; it's the value set that the core value set. It's the same shit that builds the drug dealer, and then we start to validate the drug dealer. Like, well, shit, you got to make a living, and it just becomes okay. That's what I'm saying. But at its core, it's never okay. It's not.
Okay. But I see the obvious harm caused by the drug trade. Mm-hmm. I see that, right? I see it in the addicts and the lost parents. I see it in the deaths.
You don't think there's obvious harm in selling your body? Spiritually? You don't
obvious
think
harm?
Obvious harm? You don't think there's obvious harm spiritually for becoming a dope boy? You don't think so? Spiritually.
I don't.
So yes, I want her to get back online. God, I want to get back online because I want to ask her not just about this part of her life. I want to know about her early years. Like, what drove you here? Why? Yeah. What kind of lifestyle have you led?
That's important.
I'm really interested.
That's important. I'm looking forward to getting her back on after the 2:00 break. But so there's inherent harm in the drug trade. You can see it, right? You're serving people poison. They're becoming addicts. They're no longer mothers and fathers to their children. But then you also got people caught up in the drug game, selling it. They're killing for it over turf. They're going to prison. They're no longer fathers and mothers to their kids. I can see the harm there, right? Spiritually, maybe, right? I mean, spiritually, yes, but because of the tangible harm that I can see, I don't see the tangible harm that's inherent in sex working like that, right? Now you can like fuck up any industry, right? So you got people that's gonna do wrong and put kids in it and all those type of things.
But see, that fucks me up though, right? Because it's your viewpoint. It's people that operate from that side of the aisle that says I'm without judgment, and you can say there's inherent harm in the drug trade. Why? It's still a victimless crime.
No, I just named you every victim in the drug trade.
No, it's not victimless. But it is victimless.
No, it's not.
It can be victimless.
No, it can't.
Why can't it be?
Because a lot of the addicts are parents. Their children are being victimized.
You think hoes don't got kids?
Yeah, but how are their children being victimized because they're hoes?
You don't think there's no victimization in being a child of a hoe in a social dynamic that doesn't accept you being a hoe?
That's the problem. So instead of fixing the fact that there should not be a problem with you choosing to be a hoe, we got to say don't be a hoe. Like, no, don't give a fuck that I'm a hoe.
What I'm saying, though, Mom, that's why I'm asking the question. I'm not making the judgment. I want to know, right? I'm asking the question because I think there's spiritual harm on both sides of the aisle. Mm-hmm. You, the one who said there's not a victim, is a victimless crime. I completely disagree.
Who's the victim?
The woman or the man or whoever selling themselves for that cheap.
How are they a victim? And why are you putting the price on it?
That's why I'm asking the question, right?
But
listen to what I'm saying, though.
Okay.
You've made that argument about that is victimless, right?
I think it is
based on your opinion.
Yes,
right.
I think the people they influence.
Hold up. Let's juxtapose this to the exact thing with the drug trade. Because people who buy drugs because that's what the fuck they want to do. Mm-hmm. Right? Nobody's forcing your hand to buy drugs.
Not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
So it's supply and demand, just like pussy and Johns. Supply and demand. It's the same argument.
Yeah, but that's where it stops.
No, it's not. It's not. That's not where it stops.
That's exactly where it stops.
No, it doesn't. Because the harm is perpetual. It's everything. Everything I intake into my body, whether it be food or information, has an effect on me. You think taking 200 dicks don't have an effect on you?
No, I don't think it does.
Shit. Everybody that's entered your body, that's what I mean spiritually, we got to get more in tune.
I get what you're saying.
They leave with you, homie.
I get what you're saying.
Right? And if I don't have any value for you, and most of the way I see the sex trade is that the purveyor doesn't have very much value for you. It's just like Mama Love came on here the other day and said there's object sex. I'm just fucking his ass. I'm just fucking his pussy. Right? There's no value for this person.
No.
There's no value for you at all.
No.
I'm dropping you $20, $40, because that's fucking funny. That's laughable. It's so normal that it's and I know it's normal. I know they're going for 40.
Okay.
Right? I ain't trying to be funny. So you worth 40. And if 40's normalized, there's somebody going for 20. Maybe 10. Right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case.
I'm very serious, Catrice.
So if that's the case, though, how can you make this judgment for the dope boy and not make this judgment for the sex worker? Again, I'm just asking somebody to make it make sense to me.
I'll try to make it as clear to you as possible on the other side of the break. When we come back, we'll have that conversation. We'll try to get Nikki back on the line here so she can kind of explain her point of view on this process or on this lifestyle choice as well. This is I Say What I Said. My name is Herb. His name is Tu. We'll be right back after this.
WIIFTVPM.
Funeral expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
Biggest threat to Illinois citizens from Washington is health care costs and policies. Senior citizens have their Social Security reduced from Medicaid, and some of our senior citizens live off $3 a week for food allowance. Working families are facing bankruptcy over policy and limit and cost. Drug prices require decision between food and Medicaid. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
WIIFTVPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that. I know you just said that. That's what I just said. That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Toussaint Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
And we are back. This is I Said What I Said. We are live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. Toussaint Werner, Herb Howard here with you for another hour. Thank y'all so much for choosing to be a part of this Relationship Friday conversation. We are off into a conversation about sex work and polyamory and what that looks like. What does it do to the community as a whole? Are there some inherent negative drawbacks from sex work? And I am taking the position that I don't think that there are any inherent harms within sex work. Now, if you want to dig into it and talk about how it's manipulated and how people are kidnapped and there are children involved and all that, I get that piece, right? But
you know any sex workers directly?
No.
So see, I do, and I got a very different understanding of the pain that shit really causes. Mm-hmm. And I've known them all my life, and I don't even mean one specific. I can jump out the window and say the 90% of them that I know is fucked up mentally.
Yeah, mostly drug addicts though.
No. See, oftentimes I get on here and I talk about capitalism, bro.
Uh-huh.
And what we don't grasp, right, like just when we was riding the other day and we was talking about how many homeless people was laying on the street, and the shit is becoming normalized, right? It's people just coming up in different generations, and that shit just becomes the norm. But if you've seen the world without that, it's not normal. Right? Mm-hmm. So as capitalism gets more and more aggressive and we have less and less and less of it, motherfuckers got to find new and creative ways to make money. Right? But capitalism has a greater effect on you than just finding new and creative ways to make money. When you come from underserved schools, you come from underserved households, you don't have any fucking skill sets either. Mm-hmm. So pussy is easy to sell.
Sure.
It just is what it is. Dope is easy to sell because it's in abundance. That don't take no fucking skill. It's just there. That's it. It's just there. I can utilize this to get to the next level. Mm-hmm. Right, but from a spiritual standpoint, bro, and that's why I asked you, did you know any? So I'm a little older than you, and I've seen people shoot their shot at life and fail. And when they fail, they got to utilize whatever they use what you got to get what you want.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
But using what you got to get what you want don't create a healthy, whole, sustainable lifestyle all the time. So some people, you right, it's never painting with a broad brush. Some motherfuckers, this just I was born, I came out the womb swinging my dick. Let's get it. Right? Hey, there might be a concession for that person. I'm open to learning.
Sure.
Right? But on average, the ones that I've known, that ain't been the move. Right? And it's when I look at them people, and the ones specifically that I know, they spiritually dead. Yeah.
See, I think that for a lot of the examples that you're giving, right? For as I see the as I relate it to people who I know who have done like those types of things, and I don't really relate it to like sex work in the context that I'm saying, right? I view those people as like people who were spiritually broken already, right? So it wasn't like this thing where it's like, you know what? I really enjoy having sex. I really enjoy having multiple connections with these type of people, right?
But it's
I can monetize.
That's why I asked about polyandry versus sex work,
and they're two different things.
I'm
not trying to make them the same thing.
And I don't think to that point. Right, I think there's about until you fully understand white supremacy, everything you think you understand will only confuse you. That's not just in regards to like race, right? That shit plays out in how language is used in America in general. Like we think about ourselves as a monogamous kind of a community or monogamous kind of a country. That's bullshit. Every one of you didn't have more than one sex partner. Right? Now, you might be sexually exclusive with the motherfucker you with at the moment, but monogamy implies you only gonna have this partner. Penguins are monogamous. Goddamn it, they had that one partner and then they fucking die. Right? You not monogamous. You're just sexually exclusive in the moment.
Okay.
Right? So yeah, I get that. All of us are polyandrous in that way. Right? Unless you the Virgin Mary and you not even the Virgin Mary, let me say that.
Right.
Unless you were a virgin, got married, and you died with that one person.
Right.
Other than that, everybody's operating from that standpoint. And when you decide to conform to the social standard, if you decide that ever, you become sexually exclusive. Now, to the sister's point about when she was like, I was my boyfriend, he said I couldn't go be with this other homie.
Right.
That whole statement for me revealed a whole lot about that woman. That whole statement to me revealed a whole lot about that woman, which what I would assume did her history in general. If I get back to her childhood, I bet there's some abuse there. Because if you're attracting a dude that's goddamn controlling, that's a mirror representation of some shit going on with you. Who the fuck is you to tell me I can't go do yoga with somebody? I wish the fuck somebody would tell me what I could and couldn't do.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit. But I think that if the majority of people that are tuned into I Said What I Said right now, if they were honest with themselves, they wouldn't feel comfortable going to do yoga with somebody of the opposite sex, you know, or whatever sex their partner is. Like they wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. Like their partners would be like, nah, what you mean you and dude going to do yoga together?
Who wouldn't?
The majority of people who are in traditional relationships would not.
I can't speak for that because I don't think there's nothing wrong with going to exercise or any of that shit.
Okay, you don't think there's nothing wrong with that? I don't think there's nothing wrong with going to
I don't think
sexercise.
There's nothing wrong for you to explore friendships with I don't think it's nothing wrong for you to be a full fucking human being.
I agree with you.
Right?
You know
so to that point, that's why I asked her. Wouldn't it just been? I said you skipping some steps. Like you done went to this nigga said I couldn't go. You do yoga, then I went to fuck 10 niggas. That fucked me up. You skipped a whole bunch of steps. Why can't you ask for honesty in the relationship before you say, well, obviously this one dick is not enough?
I think that some people just have that progression, that evolution of, you know, I enjoy having multiple connections, intimate connections. Now, intimacy doesn't mean sex, right? I have an intimate connection with this person. I enjoy having that intimate connection with them. I don't think that I should not be able to have that intimate connection with them just because I am in a long-term committed relationship to you. Then you kind of be like, oh, well, I kind of like this person too, right? And so like I don't feel like I should be able to not do that. Like I'm still meeting all of your needs. I'm still, you know, here for you in every way that I have been, but I'm also here, right? And I think that, you know, for some people, so that's an okay space to be in.
Again.
And I don't see I'm
not judging the polyandry. Is it polyandry? Is that the right word?
There's a whole lot of them, but polyamory is
polyamory.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not judging the polyamory. Again, like I said, I think all of us are polyamorous. I think we all use monogamy in the wrong way.
Sure.
I think it's just that we're sexually exclusive when we decide to be sexually exclusive. the conversation and how we promoted this conversation was like a proud sex worker. And there is it's been people that have heard us have conversations on this show and specifically written into me about how I talk about XYZ sex workers or how I ain't shit because I have a judgment on sex work. And what that is that you're right. I do got a judgment. I absolutely do. That's not no shit that I would ever want my children to aspire to be.
Right.
You're absolutely right. So if that's toxic of me, well, goddamn it, I'm embracing the shit out of my toxicity.
I don't think it's toxic at all, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with monogamy if that's the life somebody chooses. I genuinely don't give a fuck.
Hear what
somebody,
I'm saying?
Right?
That's not the argument again.
It's the sex work part.
It's the sex work part. Okay. So if you polyamorous, right? That's the word again because I don't even use this shit. I just right. So that's what you choose because you enjoy sex or because you enjoy sex with these multiple people, right? Or you just enjoy the energy of these multiple people,
right?
Which we all have been. I guess from goddamn it, 15 or 14 to goddamn 28, I was polyamorous than a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. Who the fuck are you to judge me?
Right.
So I don't got no. The women I was dealing with, I hope they was polyamorous. I was, you know, do something with your time. I ain't here on Friday. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I don't go with her. She go with me.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. But when you decide to be sexually exclusive, that's cool too.
Sure.
All of that is cool, right? But then when you start to say, how do I monetize this? I start to struggle.
And I don't understand why, too, because it's just a different workforce that people may or may not agree with, right? Vegans pissed at every fucking chicken farmer. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. Like, there's always going to be a segment of people who disagree with a particular workforce for any reason, right? But I can't find the inherent harm in and of itself in sex work when you have two consenting adults saying, hey, I don't want to get to know you. I don't want to be with you. I don't even need to know your motherfucking name. I have this amount of money. You have this particular service. Can we swap those two things? We swap. You go your way. I go mine. Right? I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, I personally, it offends my sensibilities to pay for pussy. So directly, now we all paying for it in some way, shape, or form. But directly, it offends my sensibility. So I don't really rock with it.
You got a problem with the black man that values money over race?
Yes.
We don't see the conflict here?
No, because I don't see the inherent harm done to the race through sex work. What's wrong with the influence? You wrote that big ass word down like you don't got a microphone right there.
You said what's wrong with the influence? It's influencing the younger generation to do the same thing.
Who's influencing them?
The sex workers.
How?
Because you just said the other day that who was that? There was women in here.
They're telling the younger generation.
That's the new move, right? Sex work is the new move. It's like the aspirational goal now.
Sure.
But again, contextually, we don't even understand how that shit becomes
that's like you telling young girls, go get y'all money, y'all. Go get it.
Okay, that
at all costs.
That's true.
That's the only thing of value.
That's true of anything, though, right? Again, right? It's like who's I refer to the video I saw like a year or two ago all the time. It was a kindergarten graduation, and as each child comes across the stage, like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? This one girl, she's 6 years old, whatever the fuck she is, she's graduating kindergarten, and she's like, I want to be a stripper, right? Live on the microphone at her kindergarten graduation, right? So I get what y'all saying, but again, it's the parents' job to kind of shield them from these different messages, right? So just like I said about the chicken farmer and most people having an issue with the chicken farmers, right? It's no different like from sex work, right? So if a lot of people gonna see McDonald's commercials and vegans don't want their kids to eat McDonald's, but you can't get that off my TV. Like, nah, fuck that. That's your kid. You raised them. You don't give them fucking Big Macs or double cheeseburgers. That's fine, right? You listen to rap music, right? You can listen to the fucking rap music. My kid ain't finna go out here and sell dope and shoot no motherfucking body. Sex work the same fucking way. Just because it exists don't mean it has a direct influence to make your 5-year-old daughter want to go be a sex worker. There's a buffer that should come from their parents or their particular village.
That's true with everything, but just like you said before, like with drugs and with the McDonald's and everything, you could be a parent and tell your kid they can't have McDonald's, but as soon as they go outside with their friends and they see a McDonald's store, they're gonna stop and grab a cheeseburger when you're not there.
Well, what the fuck y'all want me to do about that?
Why do you think they have such a desire to grab McDonald's?
Marketing.
Yeah.
You don't think
direct sellers?
You don't think this is a concept that's been highly marketed to our community over the last 20 years?
Sure, but hear me.
Then ask yourself why. Why do you think it's been highly marketed to our community over the last 20 years?
It's the world's oldest profession.
So fucking what? Let's be clear about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
what is it, Nebraska or South Dakota is legitimately the strip club capital of the world. Who the fuck lives there?
I don't fucking know.
You goddamn know ain't no black people there.
Truck drivers come through that.
You know that, right? You know ain't no black people there, right? But that's never marketed as to where this behavior takes place the most.
Mm-hmm.
That's never marketed that way, right? Because there's this level of all the shit rolls downhill to our community, perpetuated that way. Who the fuck does the most drugs in the world, in the country? Who you think does the most drugs?
White people.
Who the fuck gets labeled as the drug addicts?
Us.
Who did you think gets labeled as the sex workers? Who do you think gets labeled as the hoes? Who do you think gets labeled as the stripper?
Here's what I'm saying though.
Just answer the questions though, for real quick. Who gets labeled as that? Who gets labeled as the homosexual now? Who's the face of homosexuality now?
Black men.
And if you do the math on all of those demographics, we are not the preeminent number in none of those demographics. There's a reason why we're being labeled in those in those efforts.
Sure, I get that too. Here's all I'm saying to you is this: I don't see any inherent harm in sex work. I don't see it. Now, are there ways for it to be manipulated and for crime to come into it? Absolutely. But in and of itself, I don't see any harm with that. Is different from the drug trade. There is inherent harm in the drug trade from day one. It don't have to be manipulated or nothing. There are going to be victims in the drug trade. I don't necessarily see that as being inherent in sex work.
The young girl that's been ran through in the neighborhood that ain't even a sex worker, just was open. You don't see any inherent harm in that?
Wait, what happened?
The young girl that's from the neighborhood that's just been ran through.
Sure. What about it?
Not even a sex worker per se.
No.
You didn't see any inherent harm there. You don't even think she came from somewhere else, some other kind of harm that even allow her to be that kind of girl in the first place?
Yes, but we having two different conversations too.
Okay.
Like I think that the bust down in the neighborhood.
But look at that. Stop right there. Stop right there. How did you just describe that girl?
As a bust down.
As a bust down.
Right.
Why is she a bust down? Because if we value her, because do bust downs have value?
It depends on what we like. It depends, bro.
Get the fuck out of here!
I'm not bullshitting.
Are you going to ride that train like that?
I'm not bullshitting you, too. Like just because I don't agree with you, don't mean I'm bullshitting you.
Okay,
man.
okay.
Listen. This is what I'm saying. Do I think that there was probably some emotional harm done to that neighbor? Like, and I use that term because that's the term that we fucking use.
Why do we?
You know, I don't personally feel no kind of way about a motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Why is that term attached to that kind of a person? Then
because that's just the fuck we do.
It's just the lingo.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Okay, I'm through. I was just going to listen now.
If we had described it as something else, we would have called it something else.
How about a young girl? Because that's what I described her as.
But I'm not talking about a young girl.
I just said the young girl in the neighborhood who they run through. You said the bus down? I said the young girl. You said the bus down. I'm asking why.
You said she was ran through. Like how's that better? Like what the fuck are you talking about? Listen, man, we gotta take a break. When we come back, I do see that Nikki has hopped back in, so we're gonna bring her back into the conversation. We gotta take a quick break. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is I Say What I Said. Herman 2 here with you to 3 o'clock. We'll be right back.
WIIFTDPM.
Funeral expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
When you need vibrant, colorful gear that offers high-performance material that keeps you cool, call Agent Huff Custom Gear. Let us take your expressions and create something new for your everyday wear, your bedroom, or bath. For all your needs, we offer custom sublimation, silkscreen, vinyl, and embroidery. You can reach us on all things social at Superhero Huff. www.superherohuff.com or 630-476-9191.
What's up, good people? If you didn't tune in to the last I Said What I Said, here's what you missed. Special thanks to Love McPherson.
And when you talk about object sex, you in objectifying that woman, you glorify pieces of her. And let me tell you something. If you think that doesn't matter, it does. And I'm going to tell you why it matters. I looked at a video and I was looking at these young boys, these teenagers, and they were like, do you like black women or white women? I like white women. I like white women. And first I felt some kind of way. Then you know what happened to me? I started listening to them and they said, why did you like the white women? Because they'll do anything for you. They're the white hoes.
Bitch, you is a hoe. Bitch, you is a hoe.
And I thought, Pornography has elevated what the white woman will do for you, the objectifying of her. And this is why we don't realize, even in our spaces, the black man is shut down because he doesn't know the power of his seed like the white man knows the power of his seed.
Oh, look, just like milk.
He doesn't realize that you sit up there coming into my neighborhood, objectifying my white women because you say they do it better than your women is a problem. They don't do it to them, but they won't bring that out, and they will not allow you to do that to their women.
I said what I said. Herb and 2 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
WIFTVPN. Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that. I know you just said that. That's what I just said. That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Toussaint Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Dudes. Because it ain't the same.
We call them dudes. Look at that.
Let's say that.
We are back. This is I Said What I Said on a glorious Friday afternoon. It is a relationship Friday here on I Said What I Said. We are live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. Too, you saw a question that was interesting or a comment that was interesting.
Why did you throw that to me?
Because
you know
read
exactly what you want to say.
Oh, I still gonna say what I want to say.
Okay.
Why you acting like I'm scared to say what I want to say? I ain't never been my tongue on this show.
You know Lucretia
maybe a
attacks
little
me.
bit.
You know Lucretia attacks me.
Lucretia attacks you?
So Lucretia says y'all have all these terms for women, but none of these, but not for these hoe ass dudes. And what was your response to this?
Yeah, we call them dudes.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it works.
We call them dudes. So 2 is like, Shorty got 200 dicks in her. Like, you don't know a nigga that didn't had sex with 200 chicks?
I don't know what dudes do in their bedrooms.
But if you did, if you was like, one of my, he probably hit 200 chicks. Y'all 2 was here a couple weeks ago. You wouldn't say shit about that.
Hey man, this boy is stupid.
You wouldn't say shit about that. Listen, Nikki is back in here, so let me pop her back into the conversation so she can set you straight. Cause I'm tired of trying to educate you alone. You don't like to listen to me, man. Let me bring Nikki back into the conversation. Nikki, glad we got you back, love. How are you? How are you? How are you?
Oh, I am a busy hoe. Clearly.
Talk that shit too.
Clearly.
So, Nikki, listen. I'm steadily trying to educate my brother here on. I don't personally feel that there's any inherent harm to the sex trade, right? Not like to the drug trade. He says that the harm can be equal, or certainly that it exists. Do you feel like there is an inherent harm in sex work? If so, where? And if not, why?
Yes, there is harm in sex work, and I think it's easily overlooked because we are so easily distracted by the attraction of it. But I think with sex work, if you're not going into sex work with already healed trauma, if you're not going into sex work with an idea that you even have trauma, that you have triggers, it can be very dangerous. It can end up to you leading and perpetuating like old cycles that might have gotten you into negative spaces. I also think just us not having health care and like anybody to how do I want to say this? Like oversee or protect our rights. Because sex work is not regulated or legal even. There's a lot of space for discrepancies within like policing us. I think in regards to sex work, their biggest offenders are people of the law because there's no protection for them, right? So if a cop finds out that you selling pussy, he can become an attacker, and it wouldn't matter because no one's gonna, protect a person who's doing illegal work.
Right. It's like trying to call the police and say, "Hey, somebody just stole my Kia Coke," right? Like that's how they would look at it.
Right. Like, oh wow.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely space for sex work to be harmful. if it's not done with intention or done with the right prerequisites.
Sure. So you wanted to get into a bit of a spirituality conversation or traumas that may precede such a lifestyle.
I don't know if it was traumas. I just kind of wanted to know her background. I wanted to know, kind of what was your upbringing? How did you get to this space and place? Like, just like you said, right? You said this. You said unhealed traumas or whatever. I think that some of these decisions in regards to choosing career path, specifically that specific career path, sometimes comes from, like you said, unhealed trauma. So I was just kind of interested in, what was your upbringing like? What kind of experiences did you have coming through whatever you came through?
I think my upbringing was actually really interesting. I think 80% of women are or have experienced sexual abuse or assault. 80% of us, right? So regardless of if that was a part of why I chose to be a sex worker or not, it's happened. My mom is a very sex positive person. She's always been pro pleasure, and she's always made it a thing to make sure that I know if I want pleasure, I don't have to seek it outside of myself or my body. I can find pleasure being alone. And she always made me, make sure that I knew that. And I think as far as maybe like trauma goes, I've experienced some sexual abuse. But prior to getting into sex work, I knew as soon as I became interested and wanted to start that this was going to hold me back or not allow me to be as great as I wanted to be. So it was something that I decided to deal with before, really putting my all into it.
Okay, I'm stumped.
Two usually got so much to say. He's just like, I don't know. So I listen. I think I understand those things in terms of trying to address those things that you think may be stumbling blocks if you're going to go down that particular path. Do you think that? Do you feel like there is a responsibility that you have, or do you feel any sense of maybe remorse or guilt for the messages or images that may go out and then may be digested by young girls? Do you think they would be? Do you feel any responsibility for the influence on them at all?
I personally don't, because I feel like everything I do is done with very thoughtful intention and purpose.
Mm-hmm.
As of recently, I did find a way to make my Instagram unseeable by anyone under the age of 21. And I went and put those measures in on my Instagram because I do completely understand how easily accessible the internet is and the information on the internet. And
sure.
Personally, I don't want my children to be on the internet finding these things out before they're ready to understand any of it. So,
do you have children?
I don't have any, but when I do.
So, quick question, man. Do you think, and this is just, we was having this conversation when we lost you for a minute. I specifically think there's a culture that's marketing sex work and just kind of marketing the devaluing of black women, in my personal opinion, whether it be through, and I'm gonna say all music, because it's not just hip hop. I think all music kind of, Beyonce is butt naked on every album. It's just, regardless of how great her singing is, it's like you got to sell some ass too. So, in my opinion, I think these ideas are being marketed to our community, right? And I hear you saying, you don't think you specifically have any responsibility there, but I don't know if that's could be possible. Like if you're engaging in the industry, and you have to market your product, even the fact that you just said a minute ago, which struck me, was that the OnlyFans concept is where you make most of your bread, or I don't even want to say make most of your bread, but where you promote most of your videos, right?
Yeah.
So OnlyFans kind of has blown up over the last what? Because I started hearing this shit like very
over the
recently.
last quarantine. No, I don't know.
You might be right though. You might be right though, right? So it's like, now that OnlyFans has become a part of the normal conversation lexicon, how do we prevent a 12 or 13-year-old who absolutely understands how to navigate the internet space from rocking out?
Well, I think there have been porn sites for a long time. Right?
I'm not saying there isn't, but I'm
I think it comes down to what somebody wants to do, right? So like just because they see that OnlyFans is a thing doesn't mean that they might have the confidence to make an OnlyFans themselves. Doesn't mean that they might have, just the willingness to want to put their sexuality and their sexual life on the internet for everybody else to see. It might just be they might just be a watcher, they might be somebody that subscribes instead of somebody that creates, a platform. But I think it's important that people share what it really is to be a sex worker, because I think that's what's gonna end the glamorization of it, and it's gonna end the the publicizing of it, because as of recently it does seem like sex work is just another job on the list, where it's like, okay, cool, it could be a doctor, I could be a teacher, I could be a webcam model, because clearly they make just as much money.
Look, we gotta take a quick break. When we come back from this break, I want to ask you a question, because we have this conversation often about monogamy or non-monogamy, and we're talking about sex work today. I want to ask you a question about how many of your clients are in committed monogamous relationships, because I think everybody's out here doing bullshit anyway, so they might as well just open up and be who they are. We gotta take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have that conversation and more. Tucson, Warner, Herb Howard. This is I Said What I Said. We'll be right back after this. Did you?
WIIFTBPM.
Funeral expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
When you need vibrant, colorful gear that offers high-performance material that keeps you cool, call Agent Huff Custom Gear. Let us take your expressions and create something new for your everyday wear, your bedroom, or bath. For all your needs, we offer custom sublimation, silkscreen, vinyl, and embroidery. You can reach us on all things social at Superhero Huff. www.superherohuff.com or 630-476-9191.
Biggest threat to Illinois citizens from Washington is health care costs and policies. Senior citizens have their Social Security reduced from Medicaid, and some of our senior citizens live off $3 a week for food allowance. Working families are facing bankruptcy over policy and limit and cost. Drug prices require decisions between food and Medicaid. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
WIIFTBPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that. I know you just said that. That's what I just said. That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Tucson Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
And we are back. We are live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. This is I Said What I Said. It is a Relationship Friday. Herb and 2 here with you till 3 o'clock each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of the conversation. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. As always, your input is valued and appreciated. I got a question, man. Why y'all be at me so hard? Why do all of the Iswiz family, why y'all come at me so hard all the time in the comments? Anytime the relationship, the conversation gets to relationships or sex, y'all just be at my head on the regular. I love y'all. Why y'all gotta do me like that? Anyway, we've absolutely thrilled to be joined on the live line by Darling Nicky. She is a professional sex worker. She is a porn producer. She is a very, very, very talented young lady. And I'm glad that she's taking the time to come out here and talk to us, trying to help educate my brother Tucson Warner on the non-traditional lifestyles that do exist outside of his own brain. Let me ask you this though, Nicky. We have this conversation a lot about monogamy, and that is the most chosen or accepted form of relationships in American society. Bullshit or not, it's the most chosen and accepted form of it, right? I tend to think that most of the people that are within those very constructs of monogamy are cheating and fucking other people on the regular. Can you confirm or deny that a lot of your clients might be supposedly committed to monogamous relationships?
Definitely.
Definitely.
A lot of, and I'm sure a lot of them aren't. But I mean, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with watching porn in a relationship.
No, you should.
But there are some people who believe that if you're watching porn and not communicating that with your partner, then there's some kind of disconnect that might be cheating.
I can see that being a disconnect. You got to sneak and watch porn when your partner is gone or that type of stuff. I think y'all should watch together, or at least be comfortable to say, yeah, I saw this scene earlier. It was crazy. Let me I'll send it to you or something like that. I think that anything that you're doing behind your partner's back is cheating. That's how I define cheating. Anything that you are lying to me about, be deceiving me about, I don't give a fuck if it's about what you had for lunch. Like what you lying to me for? That's unnecessary, right? And so I think that's pretty much how I define those types of things, and I think that is up to and including watching porn.
I think it's different conversations again. Right, you said monogamy was the most accepted kind of relationship.
Sure.
I just kind of dispelled that with language usage, right? We're not monogamous. Penguins are monogamous.
Sure.
Right? We are, as human beings, polyamorous. You can choose to be in sexually exclusive relationships. That's cool.
Right.
But unless you've only been with that one person, again, we use words all the time that we don't know what the fuck they mean.
So if that's our nature, why would we then stop it? Like cut off our nature to do something that is then outside of our nature and be in a sexually
because as you mature, so does the scientifics of your body changes too. Let's be clear, right? Like the very nature of a. I'm listening. Go ahead.
It's important for people to know you can be monogamous at one point in your life and polyamorous at another point in your life.
Absolutely, the shit changes.
Our death sentences.
Agreed. I agree. Right. So the shit changes. Right. Well, I think is what a man produces 400 billion sperm cells or something goddamn ridiculous, but a woman only produces like 400 eggs. The very nature of, and this is some shit that men don't like to deal with, right? And this is also about social norms and social standards. I made a joke a minute ago about me being polyamorous during that period of my life, by the definition, right? And you was like, what about the women? I said, shit, I hope they was polyamorous, right? Because is this my mic to keep doing this shit?
Nope.
What is that? But the very nature of women is to be much more sexual than men. But the social norm of the country creates a paradigm where that shit is not accepted, so they don't want to get labeled as being a hoe. Right? So getting back to the essence, that might be the lie, but it's the social standard.
Sure.
So and a lot of women conform to the standard publicly, but privately do some whole other shit. And everybody accepts the private shit all the time.
Yeah, but it's bullshit though. I just don't understand why people would choose to live a bullshit lifestyle as opposed to living in their authentic truth.
But that's your authentic truth or your opinion of what's authentic.
Their authentic truth. I didn't say mine.
But again, and that's my point, to her point as well. Everybody's authentic truth is different. My only qualm is when it starts to get sold for money. You can choose to fuck and be with whoever you want. I don't give a fuck. But when you start marketing it to a segment of society, it bothers me.
Why does money change the game for you?
Because it creates a different value asset. Because if you're doing it because you like doing it, then that's what you value. But if you're doing it for money, then it's the money that you value.
What if I just like doing it and I can get paid for it?
Therein lies the difference. It seems like it's subtle, but it's not subtle, which is why I asked you the question, is it okay for the black man that values money more than black people? Why do we put a brand on him? Right? Because you can chase bread all day. I ain't got no problem with nobody chasing bread. But when that bread supersedes your value for what it's supposed to be inherent, then there's a problem.
Nicky, you got a response for that?
The bread becomes God.
Wait, what was the question? I just heard him going on.
He does that a lot. Welcome to I Said What I Said.
Whatever, man. I'm not going to go through that shit again.
So Tucson believes that, okay, if it's your chosen lifestyle to be multiple in your sexual experience or partners, then that's fine. That's one thing. For him, it becomes a different thing when you start to monetize it. He thinks that cash becomes the God and the North Star and leads and guides every decision, and it loses some of its spiritual validity or
I think America makes everybody hoes.
So do you mean monetize it as far as being in like relationships with sex workers who are like monetizing the sexual part of their relationship, or you mean monetizes and like making books off of like being polyamorous? What do you mean monetizing?
I mean, fucking. That's what I mean.
A direct cash exchange for sex.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
In a polyamorous relationship?
Do you hear?
I hear, but how does that change the conversation? If you was in a monogamous relationship, because they do that too, right? They put up video cameras in their household and they just fuck this one person. That's still a problem.
So you mean like incorporating?
That's still a problem for me.
Okay, so incorporating filming your sexual life into your
To sell. You can film that shit and watch it with your partner all day long. I'm asking the monetize. We can put every segment together that we want to.
Sure.
Monetize means sell.
Sure.
When you begin to sell your lifestyle, I have a problem. When you begin to sell sexual lifestyles, I struggle. I'm asking. That's what I've been asking all day. Y'all have brought this monogamy, polyamorous bullshit to the conversation. I've thrown that out the window. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm talking specifically about when we begin to sell our bodies, when we begin to sell our beliefs. And I ain't saying they selling their beliefs, but I'm saying this shit goes across the board. America forces you to be transactional, forces you to be a hoe. And then what we do is start to justify our hoe. And I'm not calling her hoe or this segment of community.
She called herself
I'm saying all of it though. Right. And you start to, it becomes the value asset. The money becomes God. That is a problem for me. But what we do, instead of saying, hey, yeah, I'm a hoe, instead of just accepting the part of it, we start to justify the whole behavior. And it changes the definition. But no, you just sold out to be the hoe. Stand on it.
Okay, and that's okay, right? I think when Nikki first jumped back in, she said, "Sorry, I'm a busy hoe," right? Whatever.
And
like,
I said clearly,
right.
Laughable, but I'm still trying to get to the point. But that's a very different context to what you're saying. It's just okay. It's victimless. That's bullshit.
No,
it's not victimless.
This is what I'm saying too. I'm saying if I already like to fuck, right? This is already what I'm doing. Then what is wrong with me finding a way to then monetize it, right? If I can get paid for doing anything that I like to do, right? Like whatever it is, I like to meet new people and talk and
Let's
interact.
say you like to snort cocaine and you can put a video camera in front of you and just snort cocaine on YouTube all day and somebody buys into that shit. Is that valuable?
How many times I got to tell you that there's inherent harm in the drug trade?
She just told you, a sex worker just told you that there's inherent harm there
to the people who are in it, right? But you're talking about harm to the larger community. She's saying that they put themselves in harm's way. That's a different thing. I'm talking about inherent harm to the larger community.
So I want to hear from her.
Sure.
I am an advocate for everything done with intention, right? So if your intention is to make money, is to get rich, is to do this and do that, then hell fucking no. Maybe this isn't the shit for you, right? Because then you might end up perpetuating some kind of unhealthy lifestyle. You might end up living some kind of unhealthy lifestyle. Now you putting that out for the public to see and eat up and whatever. But if you do it with intention, right? And that intention is to show that black people can fuck without having to be hardcore, that there's black men out here who aren't just some BBC cock monsters, that there's black women who aren't just ebony, petite, whatever, you know? Like, me and my partners, we record and we set up our cameras so that people know and understand that you can be intimate with people who you may have just met. You can share a deep connection with people who aren't, maybe your girlfriend for 3 years or whatever. These things are possible. Sharing love, even in a moment, is possible. And I think when you use it with intention and you're able to get that message across, then it's not just for money. But there are a lot of people out here who are doing this just for money. And they'll see some outrageous content coming from them, like fucking in coronavirus masks and quarantine pussy this and that.
Hey, you gotta seize the moment.
Right. But there's two different sides of the coin. There's people who do this because they want to change the narrative. They want to change how black people are seen in porn or just sexually. And then there's some people who are like, fuck it, I'm cool with the norm. Let's keep perpetuating it.
So I think there's a question too that I wanna raise to you, and it came from Rashard Archie. Shout out to Suge. Suge is my man. He's like really one of my best friends in life. But he says any other occupation people would say it doesn't define who they are. It's just what they do. Why is sex work any different?
That's not true. I think we all are defined mostly by what we do. The first question you get on a date is, "What do you do for a living?"
And I push back on that all the time. I hate that.
You want, but the question is there, isn't it?
Yeah, but see,
but you can't walk around that. The question is there for a reason.
Yeah, but I'm gonna work to change that part of it as opposed to adjusting the real part of it.
But again, you asked me to answer the question.
Yeah,
I just answered the question. Everybody's defined it the same way, bruh. So when I sit down with somebody and they say, "What do you do?" It's the same thing. So they're judging you based off of that. Be clear about that.
Oh, I know that.
So I'm not doing nothing different than everybody else. He just made up a paradigm that ain't real. That paradigm does not exist.
Yeah, at the time, a lot of the time, I don't outright even tell people I'm a sex worker, because I don't want to limit myself, right? I don't want to limit what I do and what I'm able to bring people to just sex, and that's exactly where their head is going to go once they hear that.
Tucson Lucretia says
people are judged by what they do, regardless of who they are or say that they are. So I don't really.
If you are just tuning in, this is I Said What I Said. Herb Howard, Tucson Warner here with you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are joined on the live line by Darling Nicky. She is a porn performer and a professional sex worker. She is an advocate of sex positivity and sexual liberation. We are in the process, the slow, arduous process of trying to educate Tucson Warner on different ways of thinking.
Tucson is very educated.
You're very smart.
I'm not anti-sex positivity.
Mm-hmm.
I never said that. I'm not even anti-polyandry. Is that what you call it? Whatever. The fuck the word is.
Come on.
I'm not anti none
slow
of
and
that
arduous process.
I'm not anti. I didn't say I was anti none of that shit. I supported all of that shit. Do what you like. Do what makes you.
But I love talking to people like Tucson because it's hard for me to understand how people aren't so open. So
me too.
Conversations
First
with
of
people
all,
who
I don't know
who may not have experienced this, or who is not their norm. I like having conversations with people like that because now I get to know like how they feel about it or what their perception of what I do is.
So again, I don't want us to confuse the conversation. I've said 1,000 times and I'll say it 1,001.
Come on with it.
Everybody in America is polyamorous.
Okay.
Right? Because the definition of monogamy is used out of context.
Sure.
Right? I'm handsome. I'm smart. I've had a lot of women in the history of my life. I'm older.
All those
and
things
now
are true.
I'm sexually exclusive and I've built a family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making any judgments on any of those lifestyles that I participated in.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a judgment, and I'm not as open per se. I'm not with selling pussy. I'm not with selling prostitution. I'm not with prostitution. I'm not with it. I'm not with sparking this shit as a career goal. So again, I'm getting shitted on in the comments by some people talking about, I have such a judgment call on sex workers.
Oh, that's good.
Well,
Glad they coming at you
saying
this time.
justify the shit to me or how it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If I come in here with this kind of attitude where I talk about the shit that we always talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I validate this form, that shit to me seems quite contradictory. Because it's the same behavior that I have a problem with in every other aspect of life. That's why I kept asking you. If I said if the black man sells his soul for the bread versus his people, is that okay? Because if it's okay then, if it's okay for this segment of the community, then I can't judge that segment of the community. If we're going to be consistent, let's be consistent.
I gave you my difference, though. I told you that I think there's inherent harm in the drug trade. I do not feel that way about sex work.
You can feel that way.
You can't tell me where it is.
True. She's a sex worker. Just told you.
And I just told you that. But those are two different things, right? We aren't. You weren't.
She works in that industry and told you it's there. You have the picture of that industry. You said it's not there.
Nikki, what'd you say? What'd you say, Nikki?
I think drugs are going to cause a lot more harm to people and to society than sex work is going to do. I think that there's different ways that people are able to find healing. Some people have been able to find healing through sex work. I don't know anybody who's been able to find healing through cocaine, or, but you know, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, and there's a lot of people who are going to get into it, and they're going to think it's for them, but they'll find out that it's not.
Nikki, we got to run. Where can people find you if they want to keep up with you or in your work, or become a fan or whatever it may be?
I am on Pornhub for free, under Darling Nicky.
See?
And I see
not selling it. No, I'm fucking around.
Right.
Got the freebies. Them the tester bags.
No, the tester bags. That's the community service site right there. It's for the community.
Right.
It's for the people.
I'm on Twitter at X Darling Nicky. It's all DarlingNicky. And I'm on Instagram at My Darling Nicky. And of course, onlyfans.com/darlingnicky to see all the good shit.
Darling Nicky, we thank you so much for taking the time to conversate with us today. Thanks so much for peeling back the curtain on your lifestyle and trying to shed some light on alternative ways of thinking that aren't so generally accepted across our society. We truly appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed. We look forward to maybe having you back on another Relationship Friday somewhere off in the not-too-distant future. You all enjoy the rest of your day and be safe out there.
Thank you. Y'all have a great weekend.
We certainly will. You too. We got to take a quick break. When we come back from break, we will put a bow on this particular conversation for today. This is I Said What I Said. His name is Toussaint Werner. My name is Herb Howard. We'll be right back after this.
WIFTBPM.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
WIFTBPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that. I know you just said that. That's what I just said. That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Toussaint Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
This is I Said What I Said. We are live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. Do not forget, coming up next is Chicago famous Mike Love and the Diz here every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. Make sure you stay around and hang out with Chicago famous Mike Love and Jizz, like I like to say.
Mike Love and Jizz.
Yeah, man. Diz got some stories, man. Diz got some stories that'll blow you, man. Diz had a van back in the day. He used to get the van rocking. He used to get the van rocking. So y'all stick around.
He was polyamorous in the van.
He was a whole lot of amorous in the van. Okay. Shout out to Mike and Diz coming up next 3 to 6. Y'all make sure y'all keep it locked.
I did some polyamory in the van before.
Oh man, I had a minivan when I was in high school, and at first I hated it.
Then it got cracking.
But then I was like, oh shit, there are some things you can do in this minivan that you could not do in the Monte Carlo. Because my brother had a black MC, right? And I was so amped to drive it because he went to school, and his freshman year, I think his basketball coach up at Marquette Cream was like, they can't have cars down there their freshman year, right? So I was like, yes, I'm gonna be able to drive my brother. Cause my sophomore year in high school, and I'm gonna be pushing the MC to school as a sophomore. As soon as I get my license, it's busting, right? So I got my permit, and I'm just waiting to get my license. And while I'm waiting to get my license, my OG would come pick me up from school, right? And I drive fast, right? But my brother drives fast. We got it from my mama. My mama drives like she's Dale Earnhardt or some shit, right? And so if you know Whitney Young, it's like right at like Ashland and Jackson, Ashland and Jackson, right? That's where it's at. But anyway, you get on right to go back to the south side. You hop on 290 right there at Ashland. You make that left to get down on the expressway. Anyway, it's a bunch of hospitals and all those other things right there. It's the medical district. My mama never liked to wait in the line after school to make that left turn, because it might take you 3-4 lights coming across that bridge to make that left turn because the arrow is short, way too short for my mama. So what she would always do is stay in the right lane as though you're gonna continue
Mama
south.
Howard was on here saying you lying.
Yeah, that's how you know I'm telling the truth. That's how you know I'm telling the truth. She want to stay in the Ashland lane as though she's gonna continue south down Ashland, and then right as she gets to the light, just cut off everybody in the turn like fuck y'all, bust the left. Well, one day she does that. Doesn't notice that there's this Range Rover trying to go north on Ashland with the light. He comes to the light.
Up, huh?
Boom! Smack the MC all on my side, right? MC totaled out. I'm salty. Now I'm not going to be able to drive the MC. I end up driving a minivan, like a Chrysler Town something minivan.
To Whitney Young?
To Whitney Young.
You still was the man with the you had to be the man to have a car in
Oh,
high
listen,
school.
you had a car in high school. It was cool. I wasn't. Yeah, I was all good. I didn't appreciate it for being a minivan at first.
Did you buy the minivan?
No.
You jaded little Negro, you.
Sure.
The audacity of you to not appreciate some shit that somebody gave you.
Hey man, listen, I can taste the MC. I'm all up on the MC. I can taste the MC, and then all of a sudden the MC turns into a minivan on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a cool.
Better learn how to up your game then. Working JT.
That's a cool trick.
JT.
But until I learn, hey, my 16-year-old ass I ain't got no hotel money, but I do have a minivan.
So look, I know Shorty's gone. What's her name? Nicky? Darling Nicky's gone.
Nicky, yeah.
But I was looking at something the other day, man, because I was trying to figure out how to have this conversation, right? Because I know sometimes this shit goes different directions.
Yeah, fill up the town and country joint.
But I was looking at this other, like, it wasn't a sex worker per se conversation, but
right.
It was a conversation around, I guess, they wasn't calling it polyamorous relationships. But either way, whatever they was calling it, they was making this comparison between alpha males and beta males, right? And it was like, it's really the alpha male that vies for the polyamorous relationship. Now, be clear how that breaks down, though, because in the polyandry, I'm saying that right?
Sure.
Whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Right.
But within that, it's like, the woman has the same viability and sexual conquest as the man.
Sure, absolutely.
Right? And she and this guy was making this kind of a ode to it's more alpha to be able to share your woman with the masses. I was struggling to understand that in theory. You know what I mean? And this is not a judgment. The math didn't add up to me. Since you kind of identified, can you help me understand?
Help you understand what exactly?
The homie was making an argument that is that polyandry, to be able to share your woman with other men, makes you more alpha. That's what his argument. Do you?
I don't necessarily I don't see a direct correlation to there. I think what he was trying to say is that it takes a level of confidence, a level of like self-validation, right? I'm confident in who I am in my position. I can't find the word that I'm actually looking for. It's not confidence or self-validation. It'll come to me right after the show. But there's a level of confidence there that allows security. He's secure within himself, right? He's secure enough within himself to be like, I don't feel threatened because my spouse, my female spouse, my wife, my girlfriend, whatever, wants to have sexual experiences with other men, right? That's okay. Go ahead and do that. I want to have other sexual experiences as well, and I don't feel threatened by them, right? I'm confident enough in my sex game that okay, you go fucking, you're still gonna want to come fuck me. Like it's cool. I don't really feel that kind of way about it. So I think that's what he was trying to say more so than there's a direct correlation between doing that and now I'm just more masculine. Like nah, I don't see it that way.
So my piece here, man, is I implore everybody to live in their truth. Yeah, right? I really do. But take time in understanding what your truth is, right? And exploring other options sexually or even in relationship doesn't necessarily identify your truth. Identifying your truth is personal.
Sure.
Right? And I think that's where most of us struggle with in the first place. So on this Relationship Friday, even after talking to Darling Nicky, that's my best advice to you. Explore you. Right.
That's it.
Explore you.
That's it. That's all I'm saying about it too. Right. Just live in your truth. find out who you are, which takes work, right? I ain't saying just wake up in the morning like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, right? Find out, spend some time with yourself and find out truly who you are and truly how you want to live. Assess the relationships that you are in, assess the relationships that you have been in, and any potential relationships for your immediate future. Assess those things and compare them to your authentic self and the way that you truly want to be and live your lifestyle. And then live it in that place. If that is monogamy and all I want to do is be with one person, if that is I don't want to be with nobody but myself, if that is I want to be with every person that's eligible that I walk past, fine, right? All of that shit is cool. Be your most authentic self is all I'm saying. I think that having conversations like this and bringing on guests like Darling Nicky, I'm hoping for those types of conversations to be a bit of a mind opener for people to say, okay, well I don't have to agree, right? I don't have to go sell my pussy to say, oh, it's okay if Nicky sells hers. Right? That's all I'm saying, right? Unless you can tell me where the inherent harm is. And I'm not talking about individuals putting themselves in harm's way like Nicky was saying. I'm talking about there's some inherent harm done to the larger community based off of that sex trade. Then fine. I don't personally see it that way, the same way I see it for drugs or other things that are harming our community. We got to bounce.
Well, I tell you what, Bella won't be having no motherfucking OnlyFans page.
Hell no, Bella won't be having no OnlyFans page because we shoot people.
You goddamn right.
But we weren't talking to Bella. We was talking to Nicky.
It's good for Nicky. It won't be good for Bella. I'm rocking over here. I'm telling you, I ain't with the bullshit.
Two ain't with the bullshit. I'm not with the bullshit for Bella either. I got nieces and goddaughters that I'm not trying to have them go down that road. But these conversations are necessary, and I thank each and every one of you guys for being a part of the conversation. As always, thank you for your input. It was valued. It's appreciated. I feel jumped on in the comments, but I love y'all anyway. Coming up next is Chicago famous Mike Love and Diz 3 to 6. We will see you back here Monday, 1 p.m. for another edition of I Said What I Said. Until then, y'all be good to each other. Peace.